What's happening in Clipper Nation? It's your boy Clip K74, and in this segment, I'm gonna be discussing on how the Clippers should not fall for this particular trap. And this particular trap is the Clippers trading the young, promising talent that are bound to be stars or superstars for a third proven superstar or a third star, or even some role players. Right? If some people are just so if they don't even like look into young guys at all. So basically, so so basically, the young core we have are just amazing. Let's just start. Let's start with BJ Boston. It's just clear as day. BJ Boston is going to at least be a star. That man has amazing ball handling. That man can score. That man can pull up. That man looking smooth. Like, and then you have Jay Scrub, J Scrub, whose hustle is getting better. His shooting is pretty good. His layup is looking real smooth, and pretty much his athleticism is just great. Those two individuals must be off limits, even if it's for Damian Lillard, Carl Anthony Towns, Ben Simmons, or all the other, superstar on so-called unsatisfied superstars that's on a trade market. And then I'll just be discussing why in a minute. But now let me just go on to describing about some other young players. Obviously, Terrence Mann, you know what he can do. He can grab rebounds. He can lock up. He dropped 39 points. Yes, so what? It's open or whatever. But again, it's 39 points. And also what Terrence Mann did in a preseason game. I mean, yeah, you're gonna say, "Oh, it's the preseason, so it don't matter about whatever the youngins do." But again, like they're showing flashes of what they can do. They're intangible because Terrence Mann, he's pretty much the heart of the Clippers. You got Keon Johnson, who is, yes, he could definitely work on his jump shot, but if once he gets jump shots, it's pretty much a lot of teams are gonna fear Keon Johnson because that guy could basically do everything like other than shooting. He could pretty much lock up. He pretty much plays. He pretty much could grab rebounds really good. He has a 48-inch vertical, y'all. He just imagine Jaylen Brown minus a 3-point shot. Like I would highly advise against trading Keon Johnson and the next individual, Jason Preston, who's a high IQ guard who can also grab rebounds. Who's a triple double threat. Now you're gonna say, oh, it was just for all the young guys. You're gonna say, oh, you just only did it in the summer league, or oh, it's not college, or blah 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 blah. But they are showcasing a lot of talent. Like a lot of people are forgetting about how the majority of the superstar in the league became where they're at. Most of them, like again, another take I hear people say of justifying their take to trade some of the young guys to get a third star is, oh, you don't know where the young guy's gonna go. You don't know blah 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 blah. But again, you are forgetting how most of the superstars became where they're at. Let's start with Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, he was like pre 2014. His people would consider him like as injury prone. Oh, he's a skinny guard who he cannot be a true point guard. Or blah 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 blah. And you got James Harden, who was, in OKC days, he was considered to be a six man, who is, a really good bench player. Blah, again, but despite him showing obvious talent that he could be a superstar, and you got Nikola Jokic, who in his first 2 3 years, no one even knows about Nikola Jokic. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo. I could go on and on and on. Jimmy Butler, even Jimmy Butler, like first few years, he was like Terrence Mann. He was, a young, gritty wing guard or whatever you want to label him. And then now he's around there. He's at least a star if you're not going to consider him a superstar. So that's my response of the people saying, "Oh, you don't know what's going to happen with the young players," but they're showing the young players. I'm literally like having a lot of passion for. That you have to keep under any condition, are showing that they're gonna be to go down the path if it's utilized properly, especially with Jay Scrub and BJ Boston, because those both individuals, those are amazing scorers. Like they have a potential to be a premier shooting guard or wing, because again, I already described BJ Boston, like his ball handling is just premier. He is premier, and his scoring is just you know and also he's a really versatile individual. So are y'all willing to throw that away to just maybe get a Karl-Anthony Towns with Damian Lillard? Yeah, it's going to help us win right now, but down the line, they're only going to get better and better and better and better, and then sooner or later, if you trade one of the youngins that is going to just rise and get better, they could easily bite us in the ass easily, especially if you trade Jay Scrub and BJ Boston. Like, like one dude, I had a really good talk with. Feel free to go back to the pros and cons of the Ben Simmons video. I was having a really long conversation with him. He was, saying that like if there's a star, you have to make a sacrifice to trade some of the young core. But again, you have to look at how a lot of superstars became where they're at. Like, like it is not logical to, just trade a promising young talent for a superstar that's just gonna, it's gonna help us just right now, but in the long run, it could harm us even more. Cause let's just say, oh, you trade like let's just say you don't trade all of the young core. You trade some of the young core. So again, you would trade let's just say what a typical Portland Trailblazer package. So the Blazers just being generous, not asking for a lot of assets. You trade we had to trade Marcus Morris, Luke Kennard, who I believe I'm willing to trade be to free up minutes, but I'll discuss that really soon. Jay Scrub and Terrence Mann. So let's just say that trade goes through. Boom, the Clippers get the temporary need. We win 2-3 rings down the line, and then age catches up to our superstar. Age catches up to Dame. Age catches up to Kawhi. Age catches up to Paul George. And then Jay Scrub, on the other hand, he's just dramatically rising, getting better and better and better. Like, are y'all like getting better and better and better? Like, wind up, boom, starting to score 23 points per game, 25 points per game. Like, and then, he's doing the same stuff what he's doing with us, but now he's just maximizing it. And then who knows? Jay Scrub could, like once he gets like all the touches in the Trailblazers, he could probably bite us in the ass again when we face off. Jay Scrub could just go crazy on us, and then who knows? He could also lead the Portland Trailblazer to at least to be a playoff contender, and he could wind up being a premier scoring guard. So that's pretty much a counter argument to people just saying, oh, they just trade somebody of a promising rising young core because if you look at the Clippers roster right now, like we already have a lot of filled depths that addresses our needs. You have Reggie Jackson, who's already scoring the ball pretty damn good. He's like, yeah, he's no Damian Lillard, but he is doing the same job Damian Lillard is doing, but just like one out of 50th of it, but it's still amazing. Like he could score the ball really good. He could play make again. And then you have Jason Preston, who could wind up being you know a really capable triple double in point guard that could make our pace a lot faster. And again, you have, of course, a lot of scoring guards. You got B.J. Boston and Jay Scrub, and then you got Keon. If you just give him some time, that boy can hustle. And if that man develops his jump shot, he could potentially be a smaller Kawhi or maybe a Ron Artest in a way, because that guy has a lot of toughness. So again, I mean, so let's just say you trade for a third star or a thing that the Clippers would need. Like, sure, it's gonna help us right now, but down the end, it's gonna harm us. Like, just because there's a lot of teams that are forming big threes. Don't mean the Clippers have to push the panic button and just be willing to throw a lot of the young, promising talent we have. I know CM, one of my favorite Clippers YouTuber. I know that's where y'all know me from. I know, like he said, like don't like something like don't tread water, and we have to make waves. Well, in my opinion, the wave was already made. It was like a waves, a really big tsunami that happened in a really quiet location in Alaska. Like nobody would really know about that. I'm just using an analogy. My bad for a corny analogy, but again, we made a big waves in the draft. It's just nobody really knows about the waves because because you're already seeing what BJ Boston is doing. He has the potential to tear the league up. Jay Scrub, he has the potential to tear the league up as well. So a lot of y'all gonna say, like, oh, we shouldn't, like, you had to make sacrifices, but I don't think it's worth the sacrifice to trade an individual that has a potential to, to lead us to potentially lead a team to be a really good, great team, maybe even a championship team. Because if we keep the young core, we're just going to be like the San Antonio's. We could potentially be just like at least like the San Antonio Spurs, because the Spurs, they kept the young core, they developed them, they nurtured the young core, and look, they succeeded for like over a decade. Like this, and also I know a lot of people are gonna call me, oh, I'm just emotional, I'm just a fanboy and stuff. But again, this goes for all teams too, not just for the Clippers. Like one thing I'll give props to is the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, they were not dumb enough to fall in the bait to trade for Ben Simmons. They were smart enough to, as of right now, to keep Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Like because Jonathan Kuminga, that dude is also going to be on a trajectory to be a star. So why trade it for Ben Simmons, who is, who has yet who is scared to shoot the ball? Like, I don't mind making upgrades, but you need to know when is the limit, and the limit is when the trades partner asks for the young core that is rapidly going to rise, especially Jay Scrub and Brandon Boston Jr. And not personally Keon Johnson or Jason Preston, but maybe if it's so good, maybe Preston or Keon, I could somewhat just, but I would still feel really uncomfortable. Don't get it twisted. I'll feel uncomfortable trading Preston and Keon Johnson, but it's not as much of an intensity. It's just slightly less of the intensity of my passion for Jay Scrub and Brandon Boston. So again, this would just pretty much wrap up the video. I know there's probably going to be a lot of points I want to make left out this video that I should have, but as of right now, this is what I got to say what I got to say as of right now. So feel free to be sure to like, comment, and also or dislike if you disagree, because this is a really hot topic. But but again, we'll always discuss in the comment. And thank y'all really much for tuning in. And this is a really controversial take, but I feel like it needs to be heard, in my opinion. So this should end the video. So